Been here now for nearly 4 days. Romania feel exactly the same. Everybody we speak to here thinks this is their toughest task. The crowd is some 65 to 70,000 in this spacious August the 23rd stadium. It's completely out in the open, no cover, and it's a public holiday. The sun just beginning to come out between the clouds as the referee makes the official entrance. The time here is 2 hours ahead of you in England. It's just coming up to 6 o'clock in the evening in Bucharest. Teams are lining up now for the national anthems. Some 100 England supporters present in the stadium. Very patriotic people, the Romanians. This stadium is named after the date on which the country was liberated towards the end of the Second World War. But now to World Cup business, and this present Romanian team, captained by Ștefănescu there on the left, have been away in a camp for 9 days. The league programme here has been suspended because they regard this match as so important. Brian Robson on the right, winning today his 41st cap. Typical East European stadium, a huge bowl, and the England team, as Trevor Brookings said, Bobby Robson going for experience, Shilton and Wilkins winning their 68th cap, Kenny Sansom reaches 50 today, 4 others have 30 or more, but against that, 3 21-year-olds, Trevor Stephen, Mark Wright, and Watford's John Barnes. So quite a mixture there on which Bobby Robson hopes to build for Mexico. As for Romania, they've recalled 2 of their European Championship midfield players, Michael Klein after suspension at number 8, and their most capped international, 32-year-old Ladislau Bölöni at number 10. It's his 82nd cap, but the man you may have to watch, and England will, number 11, Hagi, the pin-up boy of Romanian football. Just time for a very quick word from Bobby Charlton.
Well, we always worry when we don't get the proper preparation, and we have heard that the Romanians have been away for 8 days. Nevertheless, it is good to see the Italian players that have been in Italy back. I think it's going to be quite a physical match because I do believe they're well round up, these Romanians.
And already the flag's up. Coraș is the player who went in on Sansom. Bobby Charlton, who played against Romania in Guadalajara in the 1970 World Cup. A fierce physical battle that was, which England won 1-0 with a goal by Geoff Hurst. England playing from left to right in this first half. Mariner. Ștefănescu is the sweeper. Number 4, Ungureanu. Now Iorgulescu. Romania normally play a 4-3-3 formation in home matches, although Hagi tends to dart about all over the place. Mark Wright. Good long kick by Peter Shilton. Mariner was up with Iorgulescu. That was Coraș. Then it was Bölöni, a good-looking ball. Cămătaru on the chase with Terry Butcher in attendance. Sansom covered. Here's Bölöni. That was Ungureanu and Wright. Rednic challenging him, and then Coraș came in as well, as Romania try to hustle England, as they're bound to do in this opening period, to try and unsettle them. And the poise of Ray Wilkins here could be important. And the Spanish referee has given the free kick against Mariner. England's Italian-based players were a little concerned about the referee being Spanish, because they feel that in that country referees tend to let rather more go unpunished. We shall see. This is Iorgulescu, big centre-back. Hagi, number 11. Number 10 is Bölöni. We've been here since Sunday, and it's been noticeable that Bobby Robson has been careful not to overexert the England players in training. He's encouraged them to rest up a lot, because most of them played 3 strenuous matches last week. Wright. Francis with the flick, but only to Ungureanu. Here's Coraș. Immediately surrounded by England players, Trevor Steven. Wearing number 4, the Everton player. Ungureanu, the left-back, is very much a right-footed player. Bölöni playing deep. And the tall goalkeeper, Silvio Lung. That was Butcher. Francis back for Wilkins, then Steven, now Wright. Viv Anderson. Steven. Wilkins. Coraș. Cămătaru. Klein. Hagi's made a run forward. This is Barnes. Francis on the left, and Mariner unmarked just for a second on the other side of the field, but Barnes could never have seen him from there. Hagi loves to carry the ball like that, and it was Anderson who moved in. That's Negrilă, the right back. Klein's gone to help him and got it back from Rednic, then Coraș. Stephen didn't gather it. Cămătaru. Early impressions, Bobby?
Well, England seem quite compact at the back, and there doesn't seem to be any difficulty at the present time. Although they do look quite capable, the Romanians, when they get around about our 18-yard box with little 1-2s. Nevertheless, it seems to have been a quite steady start from our point of view. Their forward players do seem to get a little detached from the defence, and I don't know if we can get on top. I would think that maybe that'll have a telling effect later.
This is Butcher. Looking for Francis. England's defence has a wonderful record in the recent past. 17 clean sheets in 28 internationals. That's some performance. This is Trevor Stephen. And the foul was by Klein, who's got to be rather careful. He's just come back from suspension. He was sent off in Belfast when Romania lost to Northern Ireland. Butcher's gone forward for the free kick on the far side. Mariner also waiting to come in. Long coming, it was Kenny Sansom who made good ground on the far side to knock the header in. Oh, and a poor pass by Klein, straight to Ray Wilkins. Here's Francis. Little tussle off the ball between Bölöni and Wilkins. Here's Anderson. Ray Wilkins seemed to take a knock after that last collision. This is Bölöni. And indeed, just finishing the point about England's defence, they haven't yet conceded a goal in this World Cup qualifying group. They've kept clean sheets against Finland, Turkey and Northern Ireland. It might not sound the greatest opposition in the world, but they've slipped up before against teams of lesser stature of England, as we all know. Rednic, Barnes. Referee's given the free kick. And again, Terry Butcher's made his way forward. There was a fair amount of practice here on set plays. As Trevor Stephen comes in for the header.
I said that it might be a little bit physical, and it's turning out that way. The thing is that when we get someone like Trevor Stephen or John Barnes who want to take a full-back on and go past them, they just unceremoniously just stop them from doing it any way they can, fair meals or foul. It's just something that we'll have to get used to, I'm afraid, today. Nevertheless, it's all part of the Latin game.
Mariner. Stephen forward, Francis in pursuit. Hagi and Sansom. Sansom the winner, but only to Bölöni, who's got it back. Here's Coraș, came to him from Wilkins. Mariner with the header on. Ștefănescu. Now Rednic in space. Hagi's on the right-hand side. Cămătaru's through the middle. Here he is. But the early signs from this Romanian attack is that they're over-anxious and a little nervous in front of their own expectant crowd. Pitch will probably be greasy on top anyway after the rain that we've had. May account for some of the first touches going astray. Negrilă. That was away by Sansom. Good turn by Ungureanu. Cămătaru got up unopposed, but Butcher made a good decision because he conceded possession. And now Wright being tested, and Shilton having to come to the edge of the 18-yard area, but kept the ball just inside the line, and a foul on him by Coraș, who succeeded in kicking the ball out of Shilton's hands. The initial advance by Shilton was important for England. He came right to the perimeter, but the linesman was level and said that the ball stayed inside the area. "12 minutes gone in this World Cup qualifier. No score. Barnes for England. Sansom. Trevor Steven coming up on this side to knock it back in. Robson's in there. Klein. Bölöni. Klein was felled by Wilkins. Referee played an advantage. Coraș. Bölöni in support. Cămătaru waiting in the centre, so is Rednic. Francis and Ungureanu. Now Wilkins to Robson. Little bit of afters involving Ray Wilkins there. It was Klein who initially went down under challenge from the England number 8, but he's up again now. Sansom. Butcher. Wright. Francis. Bölöni. Coraș. Cămătaru is offside. All the officials here coming from Spain. This is Butcher. Francis moving into space. Sansom. It's Butcher again. Wilkins. Oh, Brian Robson getting in the way of the pass, which was meant for Trevor Steven. Rednic for Romania. Hagi. Back in by Coraș, quite nicely done, and foul. Hagi on Anderson. If you've just come in, 15 minutes gone in this vital qualifier in Bucharest. Romania 0, England 0, and a fairly uneventful opening quarter of an hour. No scoring chances to speak of. Here's Anderson. Wilkins. Sansom looks for Francis. And England get the free kick for the foul. Barnes or Wilkins. capable of whipping these in from there. Butchers forward. Barnes took it. Robson! Oh, he's hit the post. So close for England and their captain, Brian Robson. A well-worked free kick, and his header came back off the frame of the goal. Barnes curled it in. Robson beat his marker. He beat the goalkeeper, and it hit the upright. First blood to England, but here's Coraș to Cămătaru. And the referee, having given a free kick at one end, now evens it up at the other. Now, Hagi is the free kick maestro, but whether that's too far out for him to try with his left foot, we shall have to wait and see. He did try, and Shilton, who's been made very aware of Hagi, indeed they rehearsed defending at these free kicks, England, in that very goal only yesterday. Shilton read that brilliantly. Because Hagi can be lethal, as he proved against Turkey. Anderson. Stephen. Wilkins. Sansom. Robson's up there again. Well, now the match is coming to life, it would seem. Sansom. England hitting the post 1 minute and then looking to their goalkeeper for a fine save the next. Kenny Sansom. Wilkins. Francis. Support coming here from Mark Wright from the back. Free kick's been given to Romania. The Romanian coach, Mircea Lucescu, has watched England play twice recently, and he was in the team that played against Bobby Charlton and company in Guadalajara. In fact, he was captain back in '70. And he's been very secretive about his tactics, training and team selection for this match, which he regards as the most important in the group, as far as the Romanians go. They have to come to Wembley for an equally important one in September. Ungureanu. Coraș. "20 minutes gone, and for anybody who's just tuned in, Brian Robson has hit the post for England and Shilton's made one very good save. No score. Here's Klein for Romania. Coraș. Bölöni inside to Rednic. Bölöni again. And that was Klein, fouled by Stephen. Klein does tend to make an awful lot of it when he goes down. Certainly did so in Belfast, and then later was sent off. Here's Hagi. And Cămătaru coming in from the far side. It was too long for him. Bobby Charlton.
Well, it really is a good match now. I feel that if anyone loses the concentration, there could be a goal for whichever side. The thing is with the Romanians is that the mark very, very tight, sometimes a little unfairly at times, but nevertheless it is tight, and I feel that unless England do exactly the same and deny them all the space that they want, then we could get ourselves into a little bit of trouble.
Play on. Wilkins forward, useful ball actually. This is Barnes. Francis making strides in the centre. Wilkins. Sansom. Stephen. Butcher forward. Robson. Playing a very advanced role. Anderson. Wilkins. Oh, and Kenny Sansom saw the chance to spring the offside trap there. It's a good effort to get through. Just beginning to rain again now. Cămătaru challenging with Hagi, and Mark Wright beat both of them. Good play by the Southampton defender. He's found Robson. Sansom. Barnes. Francis. And he gets a free kick as umbrellas go up all around us. Bobby Charlton and I are actually sitting right in the crowd here in Bucharest. And Bobby hasn't got a hat, but Robson's about to take the free kick. Mariners in there. This is Ștefănescu, the captain and free defender. Viv Anderson. Bölöni. Good range on the pass, looks for Cămătaru, the centre forward. There were three defenders round him, but he's got support from Klein and from Coraș. And England there just for a moment left one or two players unmarked on the far side, but came to no grief because of it. This is Barnes. Rednic. Hagi. Rednic. Hagi. Cămătaru in the centre. It might run on for Klein. And it might for Coraș. And turned back by Kenny Sansom for the corner. The cross was just too long for Cămătaru. Promising move by the Romanians, built it up well. And Hagi is going to take the corner on the far side. Short. Hagi. Rednic. Iorgulescu was in there then, the centre-back, had gone forward. Ștefănescu, that's miscued. But well played by Cămătaru, who looks a technically gifted centre-forward. He's much coveted by Benfica currently. Coraș. Wilkins. Foul by Coraș. Just coming up to 25 minutes gone here in Bucharest. Romania 0, England 0. Pace of the game has quickened in the last 10 minutes, but Robson's effort against the post, still the nearest we've come to a goal. Shilton extended once. Here's Barnes. Francis. Oh, well played by Trevor Francis. Almost got that through to Robson. Here's Mariner. And now Stephen. Ștefănescu. Another good touch from Cămătaru. And Hagi tries his pace against that of Wright. Corner given. Coraș coming in. Back to Negrilă. Good drive by the right back, Negrilă. Peter Shilton, though, saw it coming all the way. This one's pulled right back. Bölöni trying his hand from some 30 yards.
Cămătaru, number 9 for Romania, very, very able target man up front, and I think because of that, you know, most of the supply is coming that way. They haven't sort of built anything up down the flanks. Most of it has come directly to him, and if Terry Butcher and Mark Wright aren't to get caught, you know, they'll have to be very wary of this big lad, because he's a very, very strong and very well-controlled footballer. He's not clumsy at all, not like the usual ones.
Romania have only had the one win over England in 6 meetings, and that was the match from which you saw the goals at the beginning of our programme, 1980 here in the World Cup qualifiers. The game at Wembley in that series was drawn 0-0 in 1981, so Romania took 3 points from us last time, but then left the back door open and lost to Switzerland to let England back in for a place in Spain. England's passage this time promises to be rather smoother, but we can't speak till we see what's happened today, really. Stephen to Wilkins. Klein says the referee. Klein finds Bölöni. Little touches were nice there from Romania. Wright against Rednic. And then against Hagi. Rednic again. Still Wright battles. Bit of slippery stuff going on there. It was Robson who lost his balance and Wilkins who dived in on this greasy surface. Romania have the free kick. Cămătaru and Negrilă are up on the far side, and the back header out for the corner was by Butcher. They're leaving it for Hagi. And Klein. Brian Robson jabbed it past the post. Coraș is up. Cămătaru with the shot. He's in there again. And Anderson gets the ball away. England being examined here. Klein with the throw for Romania. Rednic. Coraș. Header out. Butcher, Stephen, Wilkins. Forward by Ștefănescu. Cămătaru is there. He and Coraș got mixed up. And here's Ray Wilkins. That's a good-looking ball towards Mariner. And Bölöni appeared to put his hand up there, but the linesman was already flagging, and I'm wondering whether he saw an earlier offside. Sure, that's what's happened. Half an hour gone as the sun comes out again, and with the sky now turning from grey to blue, we're looking for the rainbow, but there's no score, and shirt pulling there surely by Ungureanu on Brian Robson. Now Butcher has gone to the far side as we look. Robson, Francis and Wilkins around the ball. Wonder whether Francis might come in behind Wilkins here. But Wilkins chipped it for Kenny Sansom on the far side. It's useful. But it's Trevor Stevens stretching, and it was just a bit too long for him. Romania showed good form in the initial period of last summer's European Championship in France. Seemed to be a team for the future. But it's the World Cup that concerns them now, and here's Ștefănescu to Hagi. Foul by Wilkins. So Hagi gets possession again. Bölöni. And Hagi's run right forward, and so has Rednic. And Mark Wright managed to sort it out. Francis, handoff from Ungureanu. Quite a cosmopolitan England squad now, with Wilkins and Francis playing in Italy. Here's Trevor Stevens. Robson's in the centre. And Mark Hateley too, of course, when fit, but ruled out of this one. Anderson. And here's Mariner. And it ran on for Robson. And got a deflection off Bölöni for a corner. Mariner and Butcher have gone into the near post area. And it came to Mariner, and he couldn't get his shot in. Wilkins. Barnes and Ungureanu. And now Rednic for Romania. Cămătaru's broken away to the right-hand side, so is Coraș here. Hagi. And Francis was back to ward off, first of all, Klein. And then Negrilă. But the linesman was flagging, and Romania have a chance here to get the thing moving with Bölöni. Barnes saw the danger that time. England working well as a team. Their forwards are coming back to intercept when the ball's in a dangerous position, about 30 yards out. Happened twice there. Wilkins. For any latecomers, the score is Romania 0, England 0, with 10 minutes left in the first half here in Bucharest. England's best effort so far coming from Brian Robson, who hit the post with a header. Here's Wilkins, and Barnes has now moved to the right. That was Ștefănescu. Iorgulescu challenging Mariner and then challenging Stephen, but it's come for Wilkins, maybe for Barnes. John Barnes, I think, carried that ball out. It's a goal kick. It was a good run. Klein. And again. Playing very much on the left side. Bölöni. Lofting one up, only for Butcher to volley clear. Quite a cagey game, this, in parts. It's been built up to have so much significance. This is Hagi. And here's Bölöni, looking for Negrilă, the right back, who can hit them. It's the second attempt he's had from there. Both have been comfortably fielded by the England keeper. Here's Bölöni. Coraș got caught by Butcher. Shilton was comfortable there. Trevor Stephen. Wright. Anderson. England moving the ball about with a measured confidence. Romania giving them time to do so in that area of the field. And Butcher looking for Mariner. Here's Sansom joining the attack. Mariner again. Good play. Negrilă with the header out. Cămătaru there was the man who made the break for Romania. Rednic now. Bölöni. Ungureanu. Bölöni. Ungureanu. Coraș. Shot was blocked by Butcher, but he still played it on again for Cămătaru to shoot. And he'll probably be disappointed with his finish. Cămătaru, the centre forward, who had a hand in the attack much earlier, was on hand to join it at the end. And as the ball came out, the angle certainly wasn't brilliant. And Shilton would have had his angles right, one assumes. It went the wrong side of the post for Romania. But that was a clean shooting opportunity, and a player of Cămătaru's quality would have expected to get it nearer to the goal. 6 minutes to half-time. Stephen. Oof, that was going to be through for Francis had the last defender not stopped it. Nil-nil then. Stephen for England with the throw. But in the meantime, Romania are going to make a substitution. And Iorgulescu, who was rated doubtful for this match until yesterday, appears to be suffering a recurrence from his injury. The number 6 has gone off. And Jovan, who was standing by to replace him anyway from the start, has come on. Jovan, number 14. Stephen. Tricks were from Francis. Here's Robson. Barnes on the far side, collects that. Robson in the penalty area with 3 others for England. Still Barnes. Now Sansom. Mariner up with Lung, who didn't get it. And there was a foul on the keeper.
Well, Lung has just gone down there. I don't think he's really badly hurt, but we have caused them slight problems in the air whenever we've got down the left-hand side of the field. But it has become quite a physical game now. A little number 4, Ungureanu, who reminds me of a lad called Makanu, who was the talk of our dressing room in 1970 during the World Cup. Uncompromising defence. Whenever you get anywhere near their 18-yard area, they defend at all costs. But I do really think that sometimes our lads, especially in the middle of the field, want a little more time than they're prepared to give us. whenever they get round about our 18-yard area, I seem to find, you know, that they have that little bit more time than we have, and they seem a wee bit more dangerous in the dangerous areas. But nevertheless, over this last 10 minutes, apart from the very rare scares, you know, we seem to be coping quite well.
Header by Wright. Here's Francis. And now Mariner. Stephen. Robson's moved forward again. Barnes is coming in on the far side to head it in. England have encouraged Stephen and Barnes to play wide and get their crosses in whenever possible. That was the message from Bobby Robson, to give England plenty of width. But Stephen particularly asked to chase back in that dual role on the right-hand side, which was once the province of Steve Coppell. Ungureanu. Bölöni. Barnes. Oh, and Bölöni was late there, but Barnes rode the tackle and found Mariner. Can he find Francis? No. Ștefănescu. Rednic. Number 5. Robson hounding them a bit, but Klein. Hagi running more in hope, but Wright, with the help of Anderson, did the right thing. Wilkins. Maturity about Mark Wright, even though he's only 21. This is said to be his biggest test, and I'm sure that's right. Francis tackled by Jovan. Wilkins. Coraș. Hagi. Foul by Anderson. Now then. Hagi, when he picks himself up, will find that the free kick is certainly no further out than his first one. It might be a bit closer. 2 minutes left in the first half, and again England, who worked so hard to ensure that there were tall players in the wall, which Bobby Robson feels is one insurance against the ball played just above it. They're organising themselves now with the help of Shilton. Hagi is waiting just out of your picture at the moment, but it's been changed to Negrilă. The block was by Wilkins, whose job on defending at free kicks is exactly that. While the wall's doing its job, he's there to try and block. Here's Hagi. Butcher's header away. Here's Ungureanu. It was played back by Bölöni, and in fact Romania have to almost start again here with Ștefănescu. That's a much better ball. Cămătaru. For anybody just coming in, the score here is Romania 0, England 0. There have been possibilities for both countries in this first half to open the scoring, but neither has done so. Cămătaru. Hagi, and still driven low. Negrilă might pick this up. Bölöni. Hagi. Cămătaru waits in the centre, the referee in the way. Good challenge by Ray Wilkins, and Stephen found Robson, and now the front runners are moving as Barnes collects finally. Into stoppage time here in the first half. Good running by John Barnes. Well, that was a superb run. He took on 3 opponents and forced a corner, despite the protest by the last defender, who thought the ball was already out. Wilkins to take. And it'll go back to him, but only for the referee to blow the half-time whistle, where England, I would imagine, would feel fairly pleased with their 45 minutes work. The sting certainly early on taken out of the Romanian attack, and Robson hit the post at the other end, so a half-time score, Bobby Charlton, of 0-0.
Yes, that doesn't seem too bad to me, just the way the first half has gone. I do think that they have built up a little quicker than we have. They've been more direct. They seem to have changed play a little better than we have also. And the really good chances that have come have been the header from Brian Robson, where we have had them in reasonable trouble. And from the other end, when first the big centre-forward, Cămătaru, cracked the one that was just wide, and then the right-back, another very dangerous player, Negrilă, actually gave us some moments that we were a little bit frightened of. Nevertheless, not too disappointing start from our end just yet.
Just one last word from me as we hand back to Jimmy Hill. Jovan, the man who came on as a substitute, has had to be helped off at the end of the first half, so he too now is injured.
Well, unless you're watching television, the score of 0-0 is the most satisfactory part of that performance by England in the first half. We knew it would be difficult, we knew it would be tough, we knew it would be hard, and that's the way it's turned out. We'll talk about it with Trevor and Martin soon, but before that, let's turn to Wales, because last night in Group 7, Wales followed their victory over the Scots at Hampden Park by a most convincing 3-0 win at Spain's expense. Our congratulations to them, and here are the 3 goals that did the trick.
Radcliffe. Long ball again. He's looking for Hughes. And a favour, and there's a chance of a Welsh goal, and it's in. Surely.
Remember, the winners go through, and the second country can qualify by means of a playoff. And if Spain beat Iceland twice and Scotland beat them once, Wales will need to beat Scotland to gain the second place opportunity. And what a game that will be. They've done very well, have they not, Trev?
Well, fantastic. I mean, Mark Hughes' goal was superb, wasn't it? I mean, to get the power when the ball was up there, 90% of players would wait for it to drop a little bit, and then it'd be too late. I mean, superb goal. And I think you've got to fancy them. Now they're the form team. They're playing at home, and I wouldn't like to be the Scots lads who've got to visit there in September.
No, it won't make any predictions about that one yet. Anyway, we'll talk about the England performance in the first half in a moment, but for those of you who may have just got in, let's have a look at the highlights of that first half.
Barnes took it. Robson! Oh, he's hit the post.
Great interest in our Belfast studio. Martin O'Neill. Did England have you worried in that first half, Martin?
Not really, Jim. I thought England looked reasonably competent at the back, and considering that Romania are just beginning to get into the game now, it can't be bad considering England are playing away from home.
Yeah, lots of niggling little fouls in it to put them off their stride at the start of the game.
I think that they'd probably be expecting that anyway. And I honestly think they'll be satisfied, as we are over here at the moment in time.
Yeah.
But with an England win being a bonus for us, perhaps the draw is not so bad a result.
No, but really you're looking for England to win this match, aren't you?
We've got to. Yeah. We would want every result going our way. Yeah. We could do with one of those Ian Rush's goals there, just about 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, but he's a Welshman, you must remember. And at the moment...
we can get his nationality changed, I think.
I must say the England strikers are looking not quite like Ian Rush so far.
Not at the moment, but considering they are playing away from home, and as you said yourself, the Romanians are a wee bit tough, especially in their own pitch. So, but everything going well for England at this minute in time.
Yeah. So in a funny kind of way, Northern Ireland's interest and England's interest are not the same. I mean, a victory for England would be a 0-0 draw, but not for you.
That's right, that's right. Yeah. And I would just be worried maybe in the last 15 or 20 minutes if England decide to close up shop, and we'll be rushing them forward, I think, to try and get the odd goal or two.
Well, we'll go to an Englishman here, Trevor Brooking. Are you happy with England's performance all round in the first half?
Yeah, I think they've played it patiently, as we've just said, really. A 0-0 would be a good result for England. And I think, from Romania's point of view, they're playing a bit cat and mouse. I mean, it's a game that they'd like to win, but there's still a long way to go. I think it's only their 3rd game, and so they wouldn't like to lose that, as unfortunately Northern Ireland did, because having seen them, England get a result there, 0-0 might not even be a bad result for Romania, and that's why Martin would like to see England get a goal. So it's a bit of cat and mouse. I think at the moment Romania got a lot of possession football in the midfield without really looking as if they're going to penetrate through the middle.
Just ask you a question about the leagues in which we qualify, and also when you get to the World Cup finals, they're in leagues. Do you think that brings about less interesting football because of what you've just said?
I think I mean, you look at it, for instance, the last World Cup '82, our particular game against West Germany in the second group, where a draw was 0-0 was satisfactory for both, because then you knew, well, we're still in with the chance for the next game. And then you had the West Germany Austrian game that caused a big uproar when nobody was allowed to shoot because the result would have been affected. And I think you can have where perhaps a knockout situation would be more entertaining for the viewers back home.
Less matches, of course, and less money, I suppose, but more entertaining. Have you looked at it that way, Martin?
It's a long way to go to Mexico for one match, Jim.
Yeah. Well, that is the real underlying reason behind it.
I think that's exactly right. And we played 3 games in Spain, and at that particular time, anything after that we'd have been grateful for. As it turns out, we ended up with 5 games, 2 away from the final.
And you had and enjoyed all that excitement. But you must say it does create the sort of matches that we occasionally see, which are tactical, where teams are happy with a draw and not to win them.
I think the Austria-Germany game during the World Cup proved that point.
Yeah. And after all, the game of football was designed, Trevor, I think, you know, for one side to try and win and the other side to try and beat.
I think it might be an idea to play the first series in the league tables. As Martin said, it gives the opportunity for everyone to have a series of 3 games. But after that, let's get down to the business of sorting the men out from the boys.
Yeah. Well, England, on that basis, should be content with their draw. But are you really happy with the way that they played? I mean, the team that is out there, the amount of football that they produced, even against difficult circumstances, I understand.
I think we've looked fairly confident at the back, apart from the odd marking at the corner was a bit bad once, wasn't it? But I think at the moment, apart from set pieces, we don't look as if we're going to score ourselves. I think perhaps in midfield we're content to hold rather than push that extra man forward that might be the difference to creating an opening. Certainly Brian Robson's had the one header, and I think in the air they have looked a bit suspect just at the corner towards the near post there where the lads got injured.
Perhaps be our best chance of scoring in that
I think set pieces at the moment are the best bet.
Well, one country has no problem in scoring goals is West Germany. And so far in the World Cup qualifiers, only Hungary and Uruguay are definitely through to the finals to join holders Italy and the host Mexico. But last night, West Germany took another big step towards qualifying by beating neighbours Czechoslovakia in Prague to maintain an outstanding record. The West Germans, believe it or not, have never lost a World Cup qualifying match. Bob Wilson reports.
A sellout crowd of 35,000 in Prague saw West Germany take the lead after just 10 minutes. Litbarski's free kick headed home by Thomas Berthold. After 4 straight wins in their qualifying group, it was just the start the Germans had hoped for, and it gave them the confidence to go at the Czech defence at every opportunity. Number 2 followed 12 minutes later, and it was probably the pick of the bunch. Little Pierre Litbarski unleashing the thunderbolt. The Cologne star looks to be back to his very best, and the goal was a perfect example of opportunism and the perfect strike. 2-0 to West Germany, and in the 37th minute it was 3. This time it's Berthold who sets it up, beating the Czech defender and finding an alert Mateus at the far post. Really, it runs Litbarski's goal close as the best of the game, with the final volley oh so sweet. 2 minutes before half-time, West Germany made it 4-0, and the skills this time from the free kick belonged to Herget. So Czechoslovakia 0, West Germany 4 at half-time, and the massacre continued in the 78th minute. Rudi Völler takes on his man, makes space, and when his shot squirms away from Borovica, Klaus Allofs nips in. Previous to the goal, Völler had actually hit the woodwork 3 times, but I'm sure he'd be happy enough to see Allofs benefit from his skill. 5-0 to West Germany, but 4 minutes from the end, a consolation goal for the unhappy Czechs. Kukuka's drive being turned in by Stanislav Griga. The man who made the opening was number 9, Vízek, but the credit really should go to the goal scorer Griga for reading the cross shots so well. The final score, Czechoslovakia 1, West Germany 5. The Germans well on their way to Mexico, having won all 5 games so far in Group 2, which puts them 4 points clear of Portugal.
Well, what West Germany can do, can England do better? We shall find out now as we go back to Bucharest and join John Motson.
And you get a glimpse there of some England supporters who seem fairly happy with the way things are going. And the news from the dressing rooms is there are no changes at half-time. And I'm not sure we can produce a 5-1 display like the West Germans did here, but certainly England will be happy enough, as Trevor Brooking and Jimmy Hill were saying, to be playing as they did in the first half. And it's the second half starting with England playing from the right. Hagi. Looks for Rednic. Quite interesting to hear that discussion back in the studio about the World Cup and Jimmy's views on the knockout principle. FIFA are in fact going to bring the knockout stage further forward in the finals in Mexico next summer, so after an initial group period we shall be into knockout matches much sooner, and that I think is the point he was making. It does give a sudden death excitement to it. Here's Mariner. But while we're playing in leagues like this, nobody wants to lose. Bölöni. Wilkins. Francis. Tripped by Ungureanu. Here's Francis. It's Trevor Stephen on the right. 4 waiting in the centre if he could get a cross in. Or Wright will. That was Cămătaru up with Barnes. Wilkins picking it up from Sansom and returning it. Wilkins again, and Sansom continues his run. Mariner and Francis up with the goalkeeper, who's got the height to deal with that. Klein. Ungureanu. Cămătaru. Robson. Hagi. And rolled back by Anderson. The task here for England reminds me of the ones they faced in Greece and Hungary in competitive matches away from home under Bobby Robson, and indeed in Belfast for that matter. Have to make sure first that they don't concede, and that they've managed to do in all those games. Hagi again for Romania. He's going to try and do something about that. He's got 3 in support here, but Anderson's tackle was sure. Mariners flick to Francis. It was Jovan who came in behind him. England substitutes today, incidentally, in case you're wondering: Gary Bailey, Terry Fenwick, Glenn Hoddle, Gary Lineker and Chris Waddle. Those are the 5 on the bench, any 2 of whom can be used. And here's a sub for Romania already on, Jovan. Came on at centre-back in the first half for the injured Iorgulescu. Klein on the chase and Mark Wright across. Hagi's coming up in support here. Hagi's cross. Cămătaru was up a bit early and couldn't reach it. Hagi, Klein. This is Bölöni looking for Cămătaru. The stadium's not full for this qualifier, by the way. It costs only £4 for the best seats, but the Romanians turned out in greater numbers for a double-barreled league fixture a few weeks ago, a double-header, 4 of their top teams playing here in successive games, and allegedly 110,000 somehow found their way in. About 70 or just under today, I would think. Hagi is fouled. And the early ball for Cămătaru, who is onside, and Coraș in the middle. Cămătaru made the break and nearly made England pay. 5 minutes gone in the second half, and Romania sensed they could be onto something. Corner. Klein takes. Coraș up. Klein again. Ungureanu. All the way back to Ștefănescu as England reshape now. Negrilă. Cămătaru looking threatening in this phase of the game. He's up against Butcher. And he's got himself a free kick, Cămătaru. Hagi. Volleyed away by Sansom. On by Hagi. For anybody who's just come in, the score here is 0-0. Pretty even first half, with Brian Robson hitting the post for England and one or two scares at the other end. And Romania have begun the second half taking the offensive, but so far without reward. That's Jovan with Francis. Now Barnes. Also worth making the point that the match has been played so far in a very controlled manner. No yellow cards and few bad tackles. There were fears that it could explode after the reputation the Romanians had when we played them in Mexico many years ago. Bölöni to Negrilă. Bölöni. And England have kept their composure. That was Brian Robson to Mariner. And their passing at times has been precise and controlled. Anderson was caught by a late one there. Klein is the offender. Bobby Charlton.
Well, there was a little scare there when Cămătaru broke through on the left-hand side of the field. I couldn't see where Kenny Sansom had gone to, but he'd been pulled to the other side completely. These are the type of things in this lack of concentration that could cause us, could be disastrous for us. Nevertheless, when we have got forward and we've supported our front players, I feel that we've looked more dangerous. I do feel that their midfield players are supporting the front players much better than we are. If we can push a little bit further forward, I don't see any reason why we still shouldn't win this match. Although they do have players that are very, very dangerous. In fact, they're a dangerous outfit altogether.
Anderson back on his feet. So England will have a free kick. Wright to Butcher. Romania begin to move out of defence. And the offside flag is up against Trevor Francis, who scored from a penalty for Sampdoria last Sunday, although they lost 2-1, and Graham Souness got himself into a spot of bother in that match. Forward by Bölöni. And that was Sansom up against Rednic. Here's Bölöni. And now Hagi. And Negrilă. Foul by Barnes. It's played back for Bölöni to fire one. In the way of the initial shot, and then cover needed after that too. Romania here with plenty of players forward. Ungureanu to Hagi. Good skill by Hagi, but it's going nowhere. He's a skillful player, Bobby, isn't he, Hagi?
Yes, he is, and another player that has really caught my eye is number 10, Bölöni, who is playing very, very deep for a midfield player. But what it's doing, it's allowing the right back and it's allowing the left back to go a lot more further forward than normally they would do. It's very physically demanding on a player having to do this because he's having to sweep around both sides. But I agree, Hagi is a very, very useful player, but I would still consider the number 9, Cămătaru, the more dangerous.
Hagi's only 20, so he should have some future in international football. And Bölöni, who Bobby was talking about, he's at the other end of his career. He's 32. Here's Hagi now. Still Hagi. Coraș. Hagi! What a save by Shilton. Hagi played a lovely 1-2 with Coraș, and he was determined to go all the way, and he very nearly did. He got a shot in, and I fancy Shilton's fingertips may have turned that over. Bölöni with the corner. Goodness me, they had to come through a crowd there, Shilton. Ball's out. Well, that was a burst of purposeful football from Romania and Hagi. Just shows when they get the crowd behind them, they can attack with pace. And it worried England at the back. Coraș. "12 minutes gone in the second half. Romania 0, England 0 in this World Cup qualifying match, coming live from Bucharest. And Romania, for the moment, are having the better of it territorially. England being called upon to use their survival instincts. Ungureanu. Negrilă. Cămătaru. Only to Anderson. Mariner. Stephen. Anderson, and Francis was going to be flagged offside had that gone through. Indeed, the referee chooses to apply that. You can sense Romania feeling now that they've got to push on and look for the win. Coraș. Goal kick. The next match in the group, as far as these two teams are concerned, is away to Finland. England go there on May the 22nd, and Romania go to Finland on June the 6th, by which time England will be out in Mexico, playing the likes of Italy, West Germany and Mexico themselves. Negrilă. This is Kenny Sansom. And Wilkins. Francis. Robson's just inside. But he couldn't get free. Francis retained possession well. Wilkins to Barnes. Mariner calling in the centre, coming in now. Goalkeeper to meet him. Cămătaru. Ștefănescu. Cămătaru once more. Bölöni. Hagi. Butcher sliding in. Bölöni back to Negrilă. Cămătaru coming in. Good save again by the England goalkeeper. Half an hour to go, and England still keep that goal intact, but it was a good cross by Negrilă, and Cămătaru leaping high behind Coraș got the header nicely down, but Shilton flying there to his left collected it superbly. One of the reasons why this long record of Peter Shilton's, he's only let in 19 goals in his last 39 England appearances. That's less than a goal every 2 games for him. Marvellous record, and saves like that help to protect it. He's made 3 notable ones today now. Cămătaru, the player Bobby Charlton was talking about just a few minutes earlier, having his best effort of the evening there with that header. It's a really good jump. Bölöni to Rednic. Romania look dangerous again here. Crowd around us throwing up their arms in disappointment, thinking that perhaps the goal was coming. Here's Wilkins. And now it's Viv Anderson. England needing a period to just stabilise themselves a little and try and keep possession. Stephen. They're doing that here, Robson. And the flag was up anyway against John Barnes. Offside. Jovan to Ungureanu. Number 10, Bölöni. And Romania, for the last 10 minutes, have dictated things, and Ray Wilkins gets a foot in there to put a stop to it. In fact, he does rather more than put a foot in there. He puts a foot up at Ștefănescu. Well, there's something about the spirit in the England camp these days, and Wilkins has got a lot to do with it. There's a real togetherness and determination about this particular England party, which has been reflected in the few days that we've been in Bucharest. Cămătaru, and now Hagi. Anderson, good block, and he could continue his run here. This is Wilkins. Anderson can go all the way, but his first touch lets him down. Bölöni. Well, there's no question that Romania have quickened the pace in this second half. Begun to look more threatening, more penetrating, but yet to score. If you've just joined us, it's 0-0. Robson having hit the post with England's best effort early in the first half. Here's Negrilă. Rednic. Cămătaru. Bölöni. Certainly not afraid to try a shot, Bölöni. That's his second from some range. Indeed, England haven't managed to force more than one dangerous attack in the second half. It's been a bit of a backs-to-the-wall job, as one felt it would have to be for part of the time anyway. Cămătaru for Romania. Negrilă. Ștefănescu. And Bölöni again, swinging the ball out to Cămătaru. Lovely pass. But Kenny Sansom held him up, and here's Barnes. England just haven't got hold of it in midfield in the second half up to now, but now Robson's in some space. Francis, Robson following through. "25 minutes to go as the sunshine comes peeping through again. Jovan. Hagi. Ungureanu joining the attack. Rednic's made a good run on this side. Coraș is on the near post, coming in now. Good play by Terry Butcher. Rednic again. Coraș. Here's Hagi.
Well, this is certainly looking the best Romanian side that I've ever seen, having played against them a couple of times. They're very precise, very positive, send the ball forward quickly. The people that are receiving the ball, Cămătaru, like I've said, Coraș up front, a very, very unselfish type of player who does a lot of off-the-ball running and creates space for others. Are giving them the chances. Now what we have to do is to work very, very hard now and make sure that we don't make any silly mistakes. It's time when we've got to concentrate.
And that was Coraș. Klein. Cămătaru couldn't quite make it, and Barnes has got to. Yes, he did, from Negrilă. Bölöni. That was a good run and cross by Michael Klein on the left-hand side. Well, it's been all Romania these last few minutes, and they have a free kick now, which Bölöni pushes across to Negrilă. Hagi. Barnes, who held him up. Stephen, who completed the clearance, but only to Ungureanu. Bobby Charlton on my left, waving England forward a bit, hoping to see the ball up in the other half for a while. England have taken this opportunity as well to warm up all their substitutes, just to keep them live and prepared in case they should be required. You may just see them on the far side, and the picture widens out. Here's Sansom. Barnes. Negrilă. Rednic. This is Wilkins into Robson. Time to turn. Two strikers spinning away in different directions. Francis, the goalkeeper, commits himself. Hagi. Ungureanu finds Bölöni. That lofted pass of his again. He does strike a good ball over 30-40 yards range, does Bölöni. 82nd cap today. Wealth of experience in the national side. But then Peter Shilton's also got that, winning his 68th. Only 5 behind Gordon Banks now as the most capped England goalkeeper of all time, Peter Shilton. Ungureanu. Anderson, who misjudged it, Mariner flicked it forward. Cămătaru. Stephen. Robson. Wilkins goes to the right. Here's Anderson. Four in the middle for Wilkins. Mariner. Stephen outright. Taking on Ungureanu. Free kick to England. Let's say the Spanish referee has been seen to be impartial. And in fairness to both teams, he hasn't had any great hassle to handle in the way of off-the-ball incidents or late tackles. England then with the free kick. 20 minutes to go. Barnes left it for Wilkins. It's been played long. Oh, and Brian Robson was impeded, whether intentionally or not, I don't know, by Corash as he came in for the header. And Robson looks more than questioningly at the referee, but he won't get anything for it. Just one of those you could perhaps look at again and think that maybe if you were playing at home, you might have had a penalty. Anyway, it's Sansom with the throw. And Butcher was in there, and a chance for Robson, and for Mariner. Oh, England's best opportunity, perhaps. He's squaring up to Negrilă in the aftermath, is Mariner. But as Robson dived in first and caused the unrest, the ball came out to Mariner. I think we'll see at a presentable height and distance. And his shot was well away. Haven't been too many clear-cut shooting chances like that at either end, for that matter. Ungureanu. Rednic. So England seem to have survived that 10-minute storm, which threatened to put them behind not so long ago, and have now got a substitute waiting to come on. John Barnes is the player being replaced, and it looks like Chris Waddle, who for the moment is a Newcastle United player, although I suspect for not very much longer, coming on to win what will be his second cap. Made his international debut against the Republic of Ireland at Wembley. Robson. Whistle's gone. Waddle coming on with 18 minutes remaining. Romania 0, England 0. With the Romanians having had, there's Waddle, Romania having had slightly the better of the second half. Certainly early on they did, not so much the last 5 minutes. Waddle, with his first touch, concedes possession. Negrilă. Bölöni. Cămătaru going up with Butcher. And Coraș here. And Hagi. And there's still a chance, though. He played it back to Klein. And Rednic is in there. And it's all a little bit wild in the England penalty area. Both Romania's finishing and England's covering for a second or two, but Anderson got it behind. Hagi had the first chance, and his touch for once was not good enough. He's going to take the corner. Jovan is forward. Bölöni up there. Negrilă. And forward by Ștefănescu. Cămătaru challenging Butcher. Francis. Waddle. And Waddle has got Robson through, and if he could play it to the right, from his angle the shot was surely the right decision, although Mariner was hoping the ball might be squared. But a nice ball played there by Chris Waddle initially to Brian Robson. Interesting that while all that was going on, the England kit manager, Norman Medhurst, ran behind the goal to speak to Shilton. Whether that's to get a message across about reshaping the formation now that Waddle has come on, I'm not sure, but he seems to me to have gone into Barnes' position on the left-hand side. Rednic. Negrilă. Ungureanu. Butcher having to stretch, but he hasn't missed anything. Wright. He hasn't either. The two centre-backs look to be developing into a useful pair. 15 minutes to go in this World Cup qualifier in Bucharest, and still no score. Mariner to Francis. Cămătaru. And he's got away from Anderson. Wright will go over. Free kick given for Anderson's challenge in the first place, I presume. Hagi and Klein standing close to the ball. Jovan has come up from the back. Coraș! Well, that happened because Mark Wright appeared to either slip or be pushed. Shilton sorting out the marking, but I think you'll see Wright go down here. Yes, he did. He slipped. Nobody was near him. And he was unable to get to Coraș, who frankly should have scored. It was a free header, close to goal, and it was a bad miss. And it could prove costly for Romania and a relief for England. Particularly for Wright, who wouldn't have wanted to have seen the winning goal go in after having had that happen to him. The surface is greasy, there's no doubt about that, after the rain. One or two England players were debating what studs to wear before the kickoff. 13 minutes to go. And Romania make their second substitution. Coraș has gone off. And Lakatos is coming on. 21-year-old from the Stoia club in Bucharest. Bit of a favourite here. Offside against Mariner. Well, Coraș got himself substituted within seconds of missing what was surely the best chance of the match. Lakatos is wearing number 16 and he's playing up front with Cămătaru, who's on the chase here now with Wright. Corner. Lakatos tries to play it short to Hagi, well read by Kenny Sansom. Robson with Klein, corner again. Into the chest of Trevor Stephen, but England had pulled everybody back then. Wilkins, Waddle, two ahead of him. He's going alone, Chris Waddle. Well, that's his strength. Go at players. Hagi. Cămătaru. Away by Anderson. Romania now have used both their substitutes. England have only used one. Wright's interception to Robson. Movement here ahead of him, and they're trying to stay onside. Wilkins. Waddle. Ștefănescu. Ungureanu. Referee applied an advantage there, and rightly so. Ungureanu still. Cămătaru's coming in, Anderson's header. Klein. Bölöni. Lofted high for Rednic. And away by Robson. So England still to concede a goal, not just in this match, but in this World Cup qualifying group. With less than 10 minutes to go in Bucharest, it's Lakatouche up against Wright. Anybody just turning on might like to know that Romania have had appreciably the better of the second half, although having said that, one of the best chances did fall to Paul Mariner for England, and an even better one to Coraș of Romania. Both were missed. Here's Hagi. First half was pretty even. Bölöni. Bölöni to Ungureanu. Came through well there and found Hagi. Shilton has saved England again. From Hagi. The crowd were already on their feet. They thought this was going in. Corner to Romania. Wright with the header out. Bölöni. England have still got some work to do here, there's no question about that. But it does give Bobby Charlton a chance, after all that activity of the last few minutes, to have a word.
Yes, well, we're getting now to the last few minutes, so it's very, very important that we don't give anything away. I think now the England players won't really be looking to actually win the match, but to hold what we've got and to settle for the draw, which, the way that the Romanians have played this second half, wouldn't be a bad result for us. At the back, some of our players have played particularly well, and it would be a shame if it didn't go right for them at the end of the day with at least a draw.
And certainly Shilton will take some plaudits, I would imagine, along with that defence. That's 5 saves now, which you can look back on. There are 8 minutes to go. It's 0-0, and the ball is with Bölöni for Romania. Lakatouche has made a run through the centre. Butcher and Sansom are with him. Play on, says the referee. Have to give him marks in a way, because with all the whistling, it would be easy for a hometown decision in a position like that, but he wasn't having any of it. Guracheta from Spain. Here's Sansom. Wilkins. Robson. Wilkins again. It's a bit tight on this side. Too tight. Cămătaru to Rednic. Lakatouche with Butcher. Good challenge. England are waiting to make a second substitution. Hang on. I have a feeling they might be taking off Paul Mariner. This is Wilkins. Francis. It's going to be Gary Lineker of Leicester City replacing Paul Mariner. Lineker, like Waddle, 24 years old. This is his 3rd cap. Scored in his first full game against the Republic of Ireland. So we've now got 2 of the new boys on, with 6 minutes to go. Lineker is wearing number 15 and Waddle number 16. Barnes and Mariner have gone off. Well, Terry Butcher has been penalised for that challenge on Cămătaru. Bölöni will take the free kick for Romania. Chips it up for Cămătaru. Wright was behind him. Perhaps a sign of desperation now among the Romanians. They've only got about 5 minutes to clinch the home win they were hoping for. England just that time away from what would prove to be, I'm sure, a very useful away point in this group. Mistake by Jovan. Lineker was there, but the whistle's already gone for a foul. And Romania break with Klein. Hagi. That'll go through to Shilton. And Wilkins sees a chance here to get either one of the substitutes in a good position. It was hooked away from Lineker by Jovan. Some of the Romanian spectators now leaving the stadium. Certainly quietened down in these last 10 minutes or so. This is Lineker. Wilkins. Sansom. Oh, and Francis just saw a chance to get in behind Ungureanu there. This is Robson. Wilkins out to Stephen. And Lineker beaten to it by Lung. Hagi. Oh, we'll try and take on the last man, but thankfully for England, that man was Anderson and he stopped him. Bölöni. Klein. And away by Wright. 3 minutes to go. As Bölöni tries to get the ball back in, but England can break here. Oh, what a pity that ball was wasted, rather, by Trevor Stephen. This is Lakatouche. And it's Cămătaru. What a splendid tackle by Terry Butcher. Tower of strength in that England defence. Chris Waddle now. But he's given it away. And England shouldn't be doing that. They're so close to a good result here. Ungureanu. Cămătaru. Ungureanu, Hagi. And Hagi still. Kenny Sansom got a foot in. Well, should you just be tuning in for the last few minutes, England are about 2 minutes away from gaining a useful point in what looks as though it might be a 0-0 draw. Chances at both ends, but none taken, and some fine goalkeeping by Peter Shilton, notably, and some stern defending too by the men in front of him. That's been the pattern in this second half. Waddle, one of the England substitutes. Waddle again. Wilkins. Francis has spun away from his marker on the far side. And lofts the ball in. Oof, my word. Lineker wasn't too far away from that. Cămătaru. Here's Negrilă. Hagi. Only a minute of normal time remaining, plus what the referee chooses to add on for stoppages. Romania 0, England 0. Forward by Ștefănescu. Hagi. Forward by Bölöni. Romania have to push on, looking for the prospect of a very late winner. It's their home match, and England are holding here as group leaders. Viv Anderson sees his way back to Peter Shilton. Here's Kenny Sansom. Sansom again. And the game ends in a 0-0 draw. And I remember saying at the end of the match in Belfast that the result in the long term will be more important to England than the performance. So it will be here in a way, but this was also a good performance defensively. They restrained the Romanians, kept them at bay. Peter Shilton to thank for that, certainly on 3 or 4